What's up, guys? This is Acid Roots. We've got G-Eazy's second album, or second mainstream album, When It's Dark Out Here. Now, with his first mainstream album, major label debut, These Things Happen, he had a series of singles off that, one of the largest being Lot of That, and he quickly followed up this album. And the thing about this project is it was anchored by a rather large single, which is to this point his highest charting song, which is Me, Myself, and I. Now, this was actually probably the song that introduced me to G-Eazy. I kind of unconsciously heard this song, and eventually it was just kind of like, well, what the hell is this song? Who is singing this? The BB Rexa hook on there really kept this on the charts for quite some time, and I finally invested. But I didn't start with this album. I started with These Things Happen just because I was curious. Man, I noticed that E40 was on there, and I do mess with him, so I went for that. And he is actually on both of these albums, but we do get a handful of guests to see how G-Eazy works, in addition to the fact that he can actually support songs and is affable pretty well. So beyond the Me, Myself, and I song, there were a handful of other singles that were released with this album. I think Me, Myself, and I was the lead single, but Order More, some of these sound similar to something that Big Sean and Drake would do, mixed with a little bit of Chris Brown and some of these type people. But Order More, a lot of these, the title of the album is When It's Dark Out, but it actually does kind of feel various places when it's dark out, because Order More, despite the fact that it sounds, this kind of sounds like a tiptoeing type song. It's strange trying to describe it, but it's not loud, it's not abrasive, it's not energetic. It just is kind of relaxed in a creepy sort of way. And the same thing with Drifting. That one has Chris Brown on there, and Drifting basically sounds like the name of the title. It really does feel like you're drifting in there. A lot of this production, the thing I've noticed about it is the fact that it is not in your face. It's kind of more in, like, if there's a background and a foreground, I think this is more foreground music than background music, which the flip of the style and the flip of the wheels and the situation that did kind of makes it for a strange listen. Now, obviously, you throw the lyrics in on top of that, he kind of reminds me of Drake somewhat. I'm not so sure if Drake has shaped the sound or if it just is plain, this is how a lot of rappers circa 2015 sound. But regardless of what it was, I like the idea of a night-based album, but it's a different in approach than the normal type nighttime music I'm used to listening to. So obviously, I can see Order More being a song for at night, but Me, Myself, and I feels more like a car song, and Some Kind of Drug feels like a song that you would listen to in your bedroom. So some of these kind of have different things going about them, but I do, originally when I reviewed this, I only liked 5 songs, but now it's closer to 7, but still out of 16, it feels like it needs work to me. So there's something else I wanted to say. I guess I wanted to Some Kind of Drug. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the songs that you need to hear, songs that I recommend at least. So basically all 7 of, or all 6 of the first 6 songs you hear, Random, Me, Myself, and I, one of them, Drifting, Of All Things, and Order More. All of these are extreme hits, and then on top of that you get the song Some Kind of Drug. So between all those, whole difference is the only thing I was kind of disappointed in was just the fact that E40 kind of chose a more meaningful song than having a better time like the theme of the album. But Too Short, he's on a pretty hit song. That one was one of the best beats on there and best songs to me on there. I mean, I don't know how many of my viewers actually mess with Too Short, but he's kind of he's not as flashy a rapper as a lot of the people that you see. So you kind of see him on mainstream releases not that commonly. Like the last time I could think of seeing him was probably back on Wiz Khalifa's Rolling Papers. So that's the thing is he's not featured as prominently, and it's just interesting kind of seeing him on a record like this. It works. Big Sean, this felt like a song that he would appear on one of them, and yeah, it almost feels like trap music, that sort of thing, the current 2010s trap music. But it's a pretty hype song. It's definitely energetic and that sort of thing. Random is another one that has a hot beat on there. At first I didn't like it, but it grew on me. It's pretty infectious. There's really not a clone of Me, Myself, and I, or at least it doesn't feel like it. There's definitely not a hook that has a clone like that. And really, that's still one of the best songs on there, despite how much attention. I mean, on Spotify it has like 500 million plays, so lets you know the capacity of it. And yeah, there's just a couple others, but really, I mean, the approach that the production took on this project made me not like about over half the songs. But really, I would like the things I wanted from G-Eazy were to see him do some. I mean, I liked his creativity, the thing, his originality and his angle that he shows on this album were great. It's just a matter of keeping the interest on the songs that are not outgoing, and that was pretty much the only thing. Is um, like I have a better way of explaining this, so I'm just trying to do it. So yeah, I want to say that this the kind of off kilter production mixed with relaxing and more peaceful themes kind of creates music that makes you wonder what you're supposed to do with it. If you're gonna clean your house to it, or you're just uh, lounging, whatever some of these situations would be. It's kind of like, well, what's going on here? So that's pretty much it. You say when it's dark out, but it doesn't feel as if that's the theme. So, but beyond that, I mean, the first half of the album really does encompass that, and it is almost exciting because it's something new, and you really can't knock new too much. So, but yeah, this album is gonna get, from me, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10. I guess I could give it a 5 out of 10, and a social score it'll get a 7 because it had that huge single. I think a lot of people heard, about maybe 70 some odd percent people heard, and 3 additional singles to help back it that were actually pretty good, and some of the better and best moments on here. But beyond all that, the social score means how well it plays around your friends. The only thing left to say is, can this record be topped? And I think the answer is it could. On G-Eazy's third album, I'm not gonna mind if he makes another album like this, just as long as it has, the excitement continues throughout the project. Guess, Big Sean, great. Too Short, great. E40, great. But I mean, I think the only real problem with this project was when things got slowed down. So, all right, subscribe for more fun.